Colleen, how long have you been sober?
Only a few months now.
What caused you to be sober?
I've been sober ever since the day at the school parking lot when I couldn't walk and I got sick everywhere. And more than anything, I just felt horrible. I went to the hospital and I stayed there for 3 days. Since then I've been clean and I've been attending AA meetings.
Why didn't you want to help me with my film?
Well, my therapist said that I have a tendency of helping others out. Like for Ed, I used to hide drugs up my bra and my underwear. I've been thinking a lot about this. Even though yours is a different situation, the point is the same. Sacrificing myself for others. I want to start putting myself first.
Okay, that's reasonable. What would you say gives you pleasure? What are you passionate about?
Well, I used to write letters to the president about saving trees mostly. I was like really nuts for trees. And before I stopped using, I guess it was drugs. I was passionate for drugs. Ben, can I ask you something?
Fine.
Why don't you talk to anybody at school?
Because nobody talks to me. I'm a spaz, in case you didn't notice.
Well, Don Sicoli is in a wheelchair, and he's Mr. High School. And Karen Bradley's practically deaf, and she still plays drums in a garage band. And Doris Schumacher's blind, but all you have to do is say one word, and she knows who you are. Get over yourself, okay?
Ed, I saw you on your bike the other day. What happened to your car?
I totaled it. I was lucky though. I had my seatbelt on. Bobby didn't. He's in the ICU with clamps on his head.
Wow, I'm so sorry. Do you live around here?
Yeah, El Sereno, crappy part of town.
Do you live alone, or do you have brothers and sisters?
I got an older brother. He was one tough son of a bitch. He was always trying to prove it. When it got to winter and it was really cold out, he made us go up to the backyard and take our clothes off. And to see who could stand it the longest. I usually lost.
Oh, so what are you going to do after high school then?
I probably ain't gonna graduate. My dad's really pissed about the car. I think he's gonna make me enroll in the army.
I thought you were going to be a drug kingpin and live large.
How many drug kingpins have you seen riding bicycles around here? Hey Ben, I always wanted to ask you something. Does your body hurt?
Sometimes.
You're a tough little fucker. I couldn't handle it. I'd kill myself. Also, for the record, about Colleen, I want you to know that you didn't take her from me. I gave her to you.
Grandma, I have a question. What happened to my mother? Why did she leave me? Do you think she left to be true to herself?
Benjamin, you have asked this many times. I told you, she was unstable. She wasn't a good parent at all.
Do people do things like leave the people they love because they just totally have to?
Well, no. But remember that she was unstable and irresponsible. In addition to that, she wasn't successful professionally. You're better off not having her here.
She told me once she thought it was her fault that I'm the way I am because she drank martinis while she was pregnant.
That's nonsense. And let's not discuss this anymore.
You could find her if you wanted to, right, Grandma?
Do you want to find her?
I think I should want to, but I don't.
Then that's settled. And no more talk about your mother. And one more thing, Benjamin. The next time you think of that friend of yours, or the next time you want to go see her, I want you to remember that we're judged by the company we keep. Someone may be absolutely lovely inside, but the world reacts to appearances, unfortunately, so there is such a thing as guilt by association.
So, Marcy, what was your first film on and why did you make it?
My first film was called Meandering Hearts. It was a documentary following several people who had just received heart transplants. It was a really amazing experience, and it was really interesting to see how some people really embraced their new lives and how others had the chance to change their lives and they didn't.
How long did it take you to make the whole film?
A couple months, I guess. I have a tendency to start things.
So you're an older woman living by yourself. How does that feel, especially since you don't have a set career?
I've done a lot of things in my life, and I'm not ashamed. I'm glad my life turned out this way. The most rewarding experience I've probably ever had was going to Tibet and studying with the Buddhist monks. Buddhists are probably the happiest people I've ever met. But Ben, let's talk about your film. I see a lot of potential in you, but you definitely need to start looking past the stereotypes.
What do you mean?
Well, I know you've worked really hard, but there's a lot more work to be done. Your characters are so predictable. The gay guy's gay, the black girls are black. Go back and talk to them. You really need to interview them and find out who they are as people, find out their story. I'm also really worried about you spending so much time with Colleen. She's going to distract you. I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I did. You have so much potential and talent.
Why are you telling me this, Marcy?
Look, I know I sound like your mom, and I know I'm not. But I feel like somebody should be. You definitely got shortchanged in the mom department.
Colleen, what's going on? What are you doing?
Remember when I told you that when I was a kid I was passionate about trees? And then I got sober and stopped doing drugs?
You want to sit in the booth?
Well, I realized once I got sober I wasn't having fun anymore. But you wouldn't understand.
So you called a day in the parking lot when you could hardly walk fun?
I'm not going to smoke that much anymore, just enough to smooth out the edges. Enough so I can have some fun in my life. The AA meetings are rough. Everybody's trying to one-up another. And now my mom wants to be my friend and get matching outfits so we look alike, like sisters. And I don't sleep with shit. So smoking a joint or a spliff occasionally helps. It's fun. It's uncomplicated. Don't get mad, okay?
I'm not mad, I just care. Would you like it better if people didn't care about you? If I didn't care?
Yeah, that was one of the nice things about Ed. He never worried about me. It makes sense to me that I do this. But then again, I'm a drug addict. I'll see you around.
'Cause I'm high, 'cause I'm high, 'cause I'm high. Are you really high though, man?